G'day guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back for another episode of Wasteland Survival. So in the last episode I pretty much finished digging this tunnel, or this massive silo you can see here. Yep, there it is. So yeah, that actually took me quite a while. So today's task is to complete like the decorations for this thing. As I said before, I'm probably going to leave these walls exposed. But what I do want to do is I kind of want some sort of pillars going on in every single corner all the way up, and then maybe have some sort of bracing that goes like that. Yeah, something like that, and then some beam blocks and that sort of jazz. But honestly, before we actually do any of that, I need to do some mining for the first time in what seems like forever. I actually went and tried to figure out when the last time I went mining in this series, and I honestly can't figure it out. It has been that long. So honestly, it's probably been about a year. So a year of playing Space Engineers without mining. That's pretty insane. So, the question is, where can I actually mine? And oh yeah, I need to get rid of this as well. So, let's look at my GPS locations and see exactly where I can actually pick up some iron. So I've got... No, they're iron asteroids, so let's just look for iron here. Okay, so I've turned all the GPS markers on. Which one is the closest? Obviously they're pretty far away, so I don't really want to go that far. I think... So is there 1.5 kilometers? Okay, this one's just kind of sitting in the ground. Or is it? It's kind of right in the middle here. I don't really want to mine here because at some point I'll probably drive over that. But maybe instead I can mine this deposit here. This should be pretty manageable. And then I can park the Nomad around about here, and I should have enough space to actually get to it. Alright, well, let's grab the Nomad, pull it out of the garage, and load up the mining ships and get this party started. Well, we have about 7 minutes worth of battery left, and that pretty much concludes this iron deposit. So I believe we got nearly 900,000 units of iron. So I think we should be good for as long as this series is going to continue. So hopefully, well, I don't know. I don't actually mind mining too much in this game, but yeah, that should hopefully last us a fair while, or at least until the end of the series, and we don't have to do any further mining. So just need to wait for all the stone to be ejected from the ship, because that last little bit, I actually got so much stone along with my iron.
Ship fuel low.
And this ship fuel low thing is really annoying. Hey, finally! It's finished ejecting all the stone. Okay, so now we can park up and head on back to base. I don't think I ever turned on the reactors for this thing, so I may do that now, because I just noticed that ship to the left of me isn't actually charged, and if the reactors were on, then it would actually be charged. Alright, so let's lock her down. Okay, and let's head on back to base. Alright, just had to quickly get a thumbnail, but now we are ready to head back to base. I need to check the friction values of these wheels, but because honestly, I feel like they're spinning quite a lot. Friction 45. Maybe we'll go with 75. Let's hope I don't back into anything here. Whoa! Stop. It's like skating on ice. And those wheels aren't even touching the ground. Hang on, let me turn down the strength here. There we go. Now we actually have proper contact with the ground. I really like this rover. I think, honestly, out of all the things I've made in this game, this rover is definitely one of, if not the best thing that I've ever made. Alright, let's put the thrusters on and we can hit warp speed and get back to the base as quickly as possible. Those little thrusters on the side, even though they're small, they actually make quite a big difference to how this thing performs. So, we're going to have to reverse this thing in though, that's the problem. So, well, actually it's not really a problem, it is actually pretty easy to reverse this thing in. It's just going to take a bit of time because it's so, you know, heavy. So I'll try and line it up as best as I can, just with this camera here, and I think we should be pretty close the way that we're going now. And then from there, all I need to do is activate my camera and we should be good to go. And I think that piece of ice has disappeared that used to be there because of all those stones that spawned when I was doing the mining. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Is this the camera that I'm looking for? No, it is this camera. Okay, cool. So now we simply just reverse all the way back to the base and get her connected again. I can see... Is that air vent still going? That's crazy. Yeah, so it seems like the air tightness situation in this game is still kind of buggy, so that's a bit of a concern. Alright, so what I need is the cross to line up with that center line, I believe. So I'm going to lower this down probably, I think that should be pretty much on point. So now when we reverse this thing up, we should just be able to connect with no problems. Okay, ready to lock. And let's lock her down. Fantastic. Alright, let's check out my parking job and see if it's actually any decent. Yeah, I mean, considering I was looking through a camera, I reckon that's pretty perfect. And do the ramps actually open up properly? Let's see what happens. Do these actually work anymore? Yeah, they do. Oh, yeah, they line up perfect. Fantastic, look at that. That's awesome. Okay, so now we just need to refine all of that into iron ingots, although that's going to happen automatically for me and I don't really need to do anything about that. So, what do we do next? Okay, so now I want to kind of think about, yeah, I need to start laying down some blocks. I would really like to grind this thing down, but I think I might do that in between episodes, and I don't really want to do that just now. As I was saying before, though, what I would really like to do... What's this? Oh, that's... yeah, okay. What I would really like to do, like I said before, is put the frame around this. Maybe get some lighting in here as well, like some spotlights all around the place. Even though the performance is going to be really terrible, it'll look cool, so, you know, I kind of want to do it. Although, that being said, at this point in time, I've got 120 frames per second. CPU load is only 40%. And it's weird with this game, like when you get far away from the base, the performance starts going up. So, I don't really know why when you get closer to things, then, you know, the performance goes down. Maybe it's like trying to calculate ore being refined and that sort of jazz, and then when you move away it's all in the background. I don't know, but I think we should be right to build this thing as big as what we want. Alright, well, it's been a little while since I actually hit the record button the last time. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've manufactured a whole bunch of steel plates, made sure that we have enough materials to get everything built, like construction components, interior plates, things like that. So everything has been manufactured. I think I made around about 50,000 steel plates. Should hopefully be enough for what we need. The only thing is, I was going to begin building the frame with the silo, but yeah, I really didn't have any cargo system happening in this base yet. So what I needed to do was run the conveyor system from, I think it was at about this point here, all the way down to that side there. So I have actually gone ahead and done that now. I also went ahead and changed the location of these vents here. And also what I did is I went ahead and I replaced those blocks next to them with half blocks. And then I put all these blocks here on the side as well, so that, yeah, all the air vents are pretty much flush with the blocks next to them, and everything looks so much better than what it was before. Because I think I put 2 of these in the wrong location last time, and I think I had like 10 of these per station, but I ended up reducing that to 8 because I think that should be plenty. Like 16 for this entire space should be heaps. So we'll go up into the roof and we'll just check it out though, because I ended up doing it a little bit differently to the way I normally do it. So it was going to be a little bit of a challenge to actually build this thing because it was just so long. I mean, if you have a look how long this conveyor tube is, it's ridiculous. So what I ended up doing was making it 1 block higher than what it actually needs to be. So that allowed me to come in here and just weld it like this, instead of placing a block, welding it, and doing the old, you know, tunnel shuffle to get all these things welded up. So that's the way I did it, and it just worked out so much better. And then I was able to put this cargo container here and just continue the build, rather than having to go back down into the station and build this pipe all the way. And actually, it turned out to be reasonably fast to get this built. And here we are in the airlock, ready to get that built. So I think we'll continue on at this point. I didn't really want to bore you guys with running a conveyor tube, because I mean, honestly, it's a conveyor tube. It's not that exciting. Okay, so what am I going to do for the vents here? So I think with the vents, I'll probably place 1 every other block. So let's just picture this as a vent, I guess. So we'll place 1 there, 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 and then finally there. So if we place, yeah, air vents there, then we need to place blocks around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill this out though, so I actually have some space to work. I don't really need to worry about these voxels because they're not being shown through a window or anything like that, so I can just get rid of as much as I want. Alright, well, we got a little bit of space to work now. I don't know if we got enough, but we have some. So, what I need to do is probably make the blocks... I'll go for this colour, so let's place these all the way around like this. Oh wait, no, I don't need these blocks in the corner to make it airtight. So that's fine. We'll just place them... Well, we will attempt to place them, at least. So like that. Except I'm going to get rid of this block in the middle because it's kind of confusing. And then, yeah. I think I'm going to have to drill a channel up above just so I can reach all of this stuff. And we are so deep underneath the mountain that we should be fine. Like, I'm not going to break through the roof. So that's all good. Alright, let's get rid of this block. And let's place in our other blocks here like this. Okay, so we've got our blocks placed so that this will be airtight, and then we'll just place in our air vents. So our air vents will be like this. I'll probably go for the lights to be towards the doors for the first two, and then spin them around again so that they're the same on the other side. Then we just need to put in our conveyor system. So luckily the conveyor system is right there, ready to go. So I'll grab some steel plates though, because I don't think I have enough to weld those things up. Okay, there we go. So that's all those done. I probably should have grabbed the components for a air vent while I was there. I am tempted to put a cargo container here, but I don't know if I really want to do that just yet. In fact, you know what? I think that's going to be a better way to do it. It's just going to be the smarter way, because then it saves me having to come back to this cargo container about 10 times. Alright, so we should have enough to build a small cargo container, and then from there we can withdraw components to build everything else we need to. So I guess I'll just slap it right here. Cool. And then from there I'm just going to put in T-junctions. I was using conveyor junctions, but I don't think it's necessary for this portion. So where's the T-junction? There we go. Cool. That's our last conveyor junction placed, or conveyor pipe, I guess. So now let's get these welded up as well as the air vents, and then we should be able to make this room airtight. It should be airtight from that point. Okay, and that is our last air vent done. Now let's go and pressure test this whole thing. So I believe the conveyor system should work even though that end is open. At least to these air vents. Everything looks green here, everything looks good. Hopefully I didn't miss one of these, but I don't think I did. I think I got them all. You've actually got to be careful flying through here as well, because if you clip this, you could actually die. Okay, let's seal the hole back up. Make sure that everything is still airtight in this section. And how are we looking? Are we airtight? Yes, yes we are airtight. And yeah, as you can see, it doesn't really take too long to fully pressurize this space. Actually, it is taking forever. It is increasing in pressure. Okay, there we go. Maybe 16 air vents is not enough. It's okay. It will do for now. But I swear they shouldn't still be. Okay, there we go. Finally pressurized. So that was a good 20 seconds, I reckon. Maybe even 30. So yeah. And as you can see, I haven't put the air vents there either, so I got to go ahead and fix that too. Alright, so when we open this door, we should be airtight. But we are not. Why are we not airtight? Is there some sort of a issue down here? Yes, well. I'd say that definitely qualifies as an issue. There is definitely nothing here to stop the air escaping, and we must fix that. Alright, let's just put in a regular steel block. Fantastic, I've got the steel plates for that. Actually handy on me for a change. Cool. And now we should be airtight in this room. Are we airtight? Yes, we are. Cool. Now I wonder, should I change these blocks here in the middle to the half blocks like what I did over there? I think I might actually go ahead and do that. And you know what? While I'm here, I'm going to get rid of these two things because they just look weird kind of hanging down from the roof. I really couldn't figure out anywhere else to put it in this room, so I ended up just placing it on the roof so I could still sit in the chair. Anyway, so what I was saying is get rid of this, get rid of that block, and then change that to a half block. So we just grab our half blocks like this, or slabs I guess you call them, and we literally just place them there. And then here I'll just place a regular block on either side. And that is essentially what I'd done in the station up here. So now I need to go ahead and do that for this side as well. Yeah, so I think I'll complete that now. Alright, well, I think I may actually kind of forego doing the air vents in this station here, and then, yeah, I'll maybe just leave this part to a bit later. I would actually like to get started on doing the rest of, or kind of getting started with this silo, and then what I'm going to do with that. Okay, so the first thing is it nighttime? Yeah, it is. Damn. I was kind of hoping it wasn't nighttime because it makes it a little bit more difficult. So what I'm planning to do, I think, is put a roof on this thing. Man, I really need to get some light in here. Alright, so maybe what we can do is just grab some steel blocks or some steel plates. How many have I got in my inventory? 9. Okay, that's not enough. Alright, we need to get some more. Okay, so I guess the problem I've got at the moment is I need to get some sort of a cargo system here first. I think that should be the first thing I do, and then after that we can think about getting some lights up and putting in our door, or at least where it's going to end up. So what I'll do is I'll withdraw a whole bunch of stuff for some conveyor ports, or conveyor, yeah, just conveyors. So let's grab a small cargo container, and then we'll grab some conveyor tubes, and then I'll get rid of this conveyor tube here, and I'll put in a T-junction. Or should I just go above? I might actually just do that. So we'll just dig a hole through here. I don't want to get too close to the wall. I haven't really thought too much about what I want the cargo system to be once I'm actually there, if that makes sense. So, alright, let's get rid of... What's behind here? What is behind door number 1? Yep, that'll do. We'll put our cargo container right there. So first though, I need to run some conveyors to it. Right, now that we have our cargo container built, we can actually get started with building some stuff. Okay, so I'll just grab some steel plates, and what I'm going to do is probably just run a line of blocks all the way up to the top. Where's my midpoint? I guess it doesn't really matter where the midpoint is, but... So, I think that is the midpoint. Yep, it is. Now, unfortunately, I can't use local grid alignment anymore because the sheer amount of stuff that I've built, the game just really does not like it anymore. So maybe what I'll do is just put a couple of spotlights up this line of blocks, and then at least we'll have some sort of light so we can do something at night. Alright, cool. So we're at the top. Now let's grab some components for several spotlights. I don't know how many we'll need though. Maybe I'll just place them at random intervals and we'll see how we go with that. Actually, I need to grab the stuff. Okay, so I think I've got about 5 or 6. Place one immediately here. Then I guess we'll go up a couple more blocks. Place one there. Another one there. One there, and then maybe one there as well. Alright, let's see how many of these I can actually get welded up. Well, as it turns out, all of them. So, yeah, that's a fairly decent amount of light on this side of the tunnel. So I guess we could start from there, maybe? The thing is, we're kind of like on an angle here. So, where is the angle kind of... I think this is like the low point here. So, in order to make a door for this thing, it needs to be, yeah, pretty low into the tunnel itself, because if the door is going to kind of be at the top here, and I'm thinking I'll have a door that has like 2 halves, and then it will kind of slide that way and then slide that way. But what I need to take into account is that when the door slides in that way, and this portion of the mountain slopes down like that, I need to go deep enough to make sure it doesn't poke through on the end. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit tricky to figure out. But I think as a starting point, we might just start right here. So right where this spotlight is. And I don't think this is going to be where my door is going to end up, but at least it'll give us a point to kind of start with. I really need daylight to be able to figure this out properly, so maybe I'll just wait until it's daylight. Alright, so one of the other things I would like to figure out as well is what am I going to do about these walls here? So I think in my original design I had just these 45-degree blocks here, but I don't know if they kind of stick out enough on this corner, so I'm not sure what I can really do about that though. So you can kind of see the block as well, these two up. Yeah, there's still a little bit of voxel showing there, so I'm not sure what I can actually do about that. I guess I would like there to be some sort of part sticking out here, but I just don't know which block I can use to do that. Maybe I could use one of these blocks here, this one, and we could place that. Yeah, it would kind of need to be in that corner, like there. But no, we need a... Yeah, this is really tricky. So I suppose we could do something like this where it's kind of, yeah, sticking out of the wall, and we've got... Oh, but I want to run a line of blocks down here. So how am I going to do that? Because then I would kind of need to run blocks like this. All the way down. But it just doesn't look right. This is proving to be rather challenging, to be honest. Alright, let me try and figure out what I actually want to do with this corner. I guess we could do something like this. So, the problem I have at the moment is these blocks, well, these walls are very shallow, so you can kind of see these blocks here are poking out a little bit, which is fine. I'm happy with the distance they're poking out, but if I start placing some of these 45-degree angle blocks here, then I run into a problem where some of them are actually showing the voxels through. So if I move this one, yeah, so if I place that one down there and weld it up, yeah, you can kind of see that it's not really sticking out from the wall enough. So what I can do is use these half slope inverted light armor blah 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 blocks with these blocks, and then we can run those down, and I have my pillar on the corner, and with that I can also grab just some half slabs, I guess, and we can put in some half slabs on either side of those all the way down, so it looks like we've got some sort of a support actually holding this thing. So yeah, we can just do that all the way down like that. And in fact, I might weld this little section up and just see how it looks. I think this will actually look pretty good. Yeah, so it'll look something like that. And actually, I might even change these blocks here. It's really difficult because it's like on a corner, if that makes sense. So nothing is kind of square here, so it's hard to make a shape look square when it's on a corner. Yeah, I'm hoping that makes sense, but probably not. Okay, and yeah, I think that looks acceptable. Could actually change them. Or could we do this? Put these blocks in there. Is that going to be better?
Energy critical.
I don't really know. But I think that looks pretty good. Once I know that like I'll need these parts, so I really need to work on this design and get it, you know, kind of perfect. So I could actually change these blocks here. Maybe that needs to be like one of these, just a 2x1 tip. So we do that, get rid of these, and then I'll place some of those in there. I'll get rid of these blocks behind, and we'll just put in some regular armor blocks, so like that, and then put in our tips. We could do something like that. It's really hard because I need to do a really long section of that to make my decision. But it's not really on the corner though, that's the only problem. Yeah, so I'm going to need to work on that, but at least daylight is around the corner, so maybe while I'm figuring out this design we can kind of, yeah. So I think we're actually at a decent level too. Okay, so I think I've come up with a design that I'm relatively happy with. It's not quite perfect in covering this corner, but it still does look kind of cool. So what I've done is I've put some light armor slope tips, some 2x1 tips, but they're kind of facing like this way. So yeah, they're facing that way so that it's kind of sloping backwards, because if I put a flat piece here it just looks weird. And then here I've just put in standard light armor blocks. So I did try and go this way, but as you can see it kind of looks a little bit too thin for the look that I'm going for here. So I thought I'd go for these blocks here, these light armor tips. So yeah, and then I need to place the blocks all the way around here. Now that it's daylight, I can actually, you know, have a decent look at the terrain around this silo as well. And I think, well, my character's kind of level at the moment. So the only real low spot next to it is kind of like, I don't know, yeah, it looks pretty flat around here. So the question is though, where do I actually want the doors to open up? So I could make them go that way or that way. I'm honestly thinking that the best way to do it would be that way, because is this the lowest point here? No, that's kind of the lowest point, so maybe it would be better to do it that way. The only problem with doing it this way is that if I do decide to put a second one of these in, maybe the doors will kind of interfere with each other. So I don't know if I want to do that. I might just make the doors go this way, and I think what I'll do is I'm going to measure how many blocks it is to span this entire silo, divide that number by 2, and then just run a bunch of blocks through here with a projector and see if they poke through. And then I can basically figure out where this level needs to be. Unfortunately though, I've gone and welded some of this up, so I need to kind of figure that out now, and then figure out where this top portion needs to be, if that makes sense. So where my door needs to start. Alright, so after a little bit of playing around with these blocks, I think I've come up with some answers to all of my questions. So first of all, I'm pretty happy with this side pillar here. So that design, I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. This top portion here, this is going to be, well, these middle blocks here, in between here is going to be where the door is. So I decided to poke some blocks through the mountain here, and if we go into the spectator camera and have a look through the mountain, you can kind of see that I've got 14 or 15 blocks going this way, but I really only need 12 to make this door work. So if I drill out one block below that and clear that space with enough room to make a door basically fit in there, then we can go all the way back here and it's not going to poke through the mountain. So that's all good. So the level of my door is roughly there. So I know that's pretty much where it can be. And it actually worked out pretty good, because I think if it was maybe one block higher, it might be a problem, or maybe 2 blocks higher. So, but if once I tell you the next part, then you'll agree that it worked out really good. So, my concern after that point is, once I've got my door figured out, I wanted to basically put some cross bracings across the wall, or horizontally along the wall at, even intervals, and then also evenly meet up with this section down here. And it just so happens that, out of pure luck, after I go to this point here, so underneath, well, this is going to be the top, this is going to be our door, then we're going to have another support structure here. Then if we go every 5 blocks, we put another bracing, put another bracing, put another bracing, put another bracing, blah, blah, blah. It just so happens that 5 blocks and then 5 blocks, this ends up being 5 blocks below that. And then, I'm pretty sure, there is 5 blocks below that too. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can have another bracing underneath that. So what's this? This is our bracing. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then another bracing will be here. So it actually worked out really good putting these bracings every 5 blocks. Or every 5th block with 4 blocks in between. So that worked out absolutely perfectly. I didn't plan it that way. It just kind of worked out. So it's very rare that that happens. And I've got to usually tear things down to... and then start all over again to get that sort of stuff to work out. But it actually worked out really good this time around. So, what? How? Oh, is what it is, I guess. Which medical room do I want? Okay, we'll do this one. There we go. Alright, well, it seems like I've got to go retrieve my body now. Which is a bit strange. I don't understand why I died. I wasn't even going that fast. Alright, so the plan now is to evacuate all of the oxygen in my entire base. Well, that's not really the plan, but that's what happens. Yeah, so the plan now is to go ahead and put all of these blocks in. That's actually going to be a pretty tricky proposition, mainly because the corner blocks are going to be a bit of a pain in the rear end. So let's try not to die this time. But these blocks here are going to be a bit of a pain to place down. These pillars are going to be a pain to place down, but we're going to do it anyway. So I'm going to place all of the blocks by hand. Then I'm going to grab my welding ship, come in here, and then weld them all up using the welding ship. I think that's going to be the most efficient way to do it. Yeah, I could use build and repair, but like I've said in the past, that stuff just makes the game too easy. And I think, well, what's the point in building welding ships and that when you can just use build and repair? So yeah, I am going to do this using conventional means, but it is going to take a while. So be prepared for a relatively lengthy time lapse. Alright guys, welcome back. So, I've done most of it. There are still a few blocks missing, just like kind of here. I might just grind these blocks here out, these tips, and then put the square blocks behind them, because to try and place these blocks behind here is just a pain in the bum. So, yeah, overall I think it's looking pretty good. Next episode we'll get this like kind of all welded up and finished, and then yeah, we can kind of go from that point. But yeah, it's taken me so many hours just to get to this point, so I really don't want to do any more in this episode. So I'm gonna leave it for the next episode, but I think so far this structure's looking pretty good. And yeah, I'm about to run out of fuel. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next time.